What ethical dilemmas arise from disaster resource laws? What ethical dilemmas arise from disaster resource laws? This is a pressing question, especially when we consider how these laws impact emergency response and recovery. Disaster resource laws are designed to manage the allocation of limited resources during emergencies. However, they often create challenging situations that requiring careful consideration of fairness, justice, and accountability. One major dilemma is how to fairly distribute scarce resources like medical supplies and personnel. During a disaster, healthcare providers may need to make tough choices about who receives treatment. For example, when there are not enough ventilators, providers must decide which patients are prioritized based on medical need or likelihood of survival. This can lead to conflicts between what is fair and what individual patients expect. Transparency is another ethical issue. Disaster laws requiring coordination among various agencies to ensure accountability. When these laws are not followed, it can lead to confusion and a lack of trust from the public. Decision-makers often face the challenge of acting quickly while also needing to communicate clearly about how resources are being allocated. This is especially important when vulnerable populations are affected. The principle of proportionality also raises ethical concerns. Emergency responders often work in dangerous conditions with limited protection. If disaster laws do not adequately protect these individuals, it raises questions about the risks they face for the sake of public benefit. Balancing the need to respond effectively with the responsibility to keep responders safe is a delicate task. Additionally, disaster resource laws can sometimes conflict with environmental goals. Immediate human needs may take precedence, but this can lead to ecological damage that affects long-term recovery. Ethical decision-making must take into account both short-term relief and the potential long-term consequences of actions taken during a disaster. To address these dilemmas, it is essential to develop clear ethical guidelines before disasters occur. Involving a diverse range of community stakeholders in decision-making can help ensure that resource allocation is fair and just. Establishing committees to share the responsibility for tough choices can also be beneficial. In summary, disaster resource laws present ethical dilemmas related to fair resource distribution, transparency, responder safety, and the balance between immediate needs and long-term impacts. Integrating ethical principles into disaster management systems can support effective emergency response and recovery while respecting human dignity.